Hello lovely people, Kitten here with your monthly pattern walkthrough for June. I've made you a pretty headband with lots of flowers on it. When I sit down at the beginning of the year to make the list of what I'm going to do, I try to make it a bit seasonal. If there's any requests, I tuck them in. So I'm kind of hoping that June is going to be bright and sunny, so we can wear our flowery headbands. You can make as many of these little flowers as you like. I've only picked up a narrow piece of braiding, but if you have a wide piece of ribbon, make a great big statement, or a single little tiny one for a baby's headband. They're great for using up your odd scraps. Make a brooch, add them to a cushion, add them to a hat, anything like that. So let's get flowery, shall we?
Down a little alley in the heart of Kendal town is a tiny independent yarn shop. Welcome to the wonderful world of the kitten and the goat.
This is something new. We've never done this before. We're starting at the top and we're working down, and it's not going to make any sense. This is just one of the follow the patterns and trust the process ones. So we've cast on 96 actually, and we've worked a knit row, and now we're going to start the shaping. We're going to knit two together, right the way through, knit two together, we're going to go yarn over, knit one. Okay. Knit two together, knit two together, yarn over, knit one. That's twice. Knit two together, knit two together, yarn over, knit one. That's three times. Knit two together, knit two together, yarn over, knit one. That's four times. Then we are going to knit two together, knit two together, that is one pattern set. Okay, that you're going to repeat till you get to the end of the row. So you've got two together, yarn over, knit one, four times, and then two together, and then you start again on another pattern repeat. So you don't need to see me do it again. I'm going to do that. The next two rows are plain, so we'll have a look at catch up with that in a minute. So after that we've worked a couple of plain rows, and yes, you have decreased quite a few stitches. You've also started to create shaping here. These are what's going to give it shaping. You've made these holes, you've pulled it in. Okay, so now we're going to do, actually we're going to do the same thing. So get two together, get two together, yarn over, knit one. That's once. These are all knit rows that we're doing at the moment. Two together, two together, yarn over, knit one. That's twice. Keep your hand relaxed. Make sure you've got enough yarn. Doesn't matter if you pick it up here or here, whatever. I like to change it so my hand doesn't get too stiff. And then we start again. Two together, two together, yarn over the needle. Some people will just say yarn forward, or bring yarn to the front, yarn over needle, knit one. It creates one stitch. So I think that's three. 1, 2, 3. This is the last one. You are decreasing, making one, and then that's 4 times, so two together, two together, two together. That's a decrease, and that's a decrease. That's a long pattern. Oh, you can start to see the little petals forming now. That's a long pattern repeat. My tips for working a long pattern repeat: it's always a huge relief when you get to the end of the row and you've got the right number of stitches left. And count the stitches when you finish the row. It will tell you, usually when it's a dramatic decrease like this, it'll tell you at the end of the row how many stitches you should have. Check it. Check, check, check. Always count your stitches before you decrease again. Because, you know, and if you go wrong, you get lost. If you get lost, write it all out and then cross each one off. You do it 4 times, and then there's 2 more knit 2 togethers. Write it out. No shame in that whatsoever. So you can follow it, because that's a long pattern repeat. I'm going to work till the end of the row, and then we'll see how we get on. We've worked a purl row. You can see it's starting to see this. You've done nothing to create these shapes. It's just where we've pulled the stitches together. Worked a purl row. Now this starts to get a bit easier. We're going to knit 1, knit 2 together, knit 1. We're going to do this all the way along the line. We're decreasing the whole way through this piece. It's not that many pattern rows. It's in total it's 9 rows, 4 of which are patterns. So it gets shorter and shorter on the way down. Start to work slightly tighter as you go down, because it'll help you when you build the shape at the end. So I'm just going to plod along, get to the end of the row, and we're going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 32, 34, 36. So we've got to the end of the row and we're going to do pearl decrease the next. So pearl 1, pearl 2 together, just as you would be for a knit, for a pearl. 1, 2 together. I try to work slowly so that you can see where the point of the needle is going. Pearl is in the front there, but I don't always go to the end of the row and keep repeating it over and over and over again, so do feel free to keep pausing the video, go backwards and forwards, have a good look at it, see where my hands are holding. This is rock solid, and copy as much as you need to. Go backwards and forwards, see what's going on. If you get stuck with anything or you want me to show you anything, then please just drop me a message. Okay, so we're knitting 2 together and we're carrying on to the end of the row. Last row. See, I told you there wasn't very many rows, and you can really see now the effect that the continually pulling the stitches down and decreasing is having effect. This first bit is where we were knitting every row, and now we're coming down to include pearl, so we're getting flat bits, and it's really making a very pretty frilled effect. So the last row we're going to knit 2 together to the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. When you cast off for this one, I know I always say the opposite, but for this particular project, cast off tightly because you want to continue the decreasing shape. So there we go. Pulling it in tightly like that has made this frill. The top edges are knit, and then we switch down to the body of the rose, the flower, the shape. So I've made a few, like you do. Leave a tail on the end to sew up, and what you need to do is curl from one end. You can vaguely see how it sits in petals. Just wrap round. There's the centre of the flower. See how that makes little shapes? That is only because you knitted 2 together here to pull it into that shape. You can keep it upright. You can flatten it a bit. Make them in loads of different colours. It's great for using your scraps up, use textures. We're making a headband. I'm going to sew it to a headband. But you can make a brooch, put it on a hat, 3 or 4 on a corner of a cushion, that kind of thing. It's a really useful little addition to your skill bank. Right, we've made some flowers, all sorts, just some bits and pieces. I'm going to make a headband. This takes me back. This is so old-fashioned. We used to do this as kids in school. Bit of ribbon, anything you like. You want a piece that goes from about the middle of one ear over your head to about the middle of the other ear. And you want a piece of elastic. This isn't wide enough. This isn't wide enough, but it's all I've got knocking about. And it's just to show you how we do it. You want to pin the elastic in the middle. You bring that one over there. And we'll put a pin in there. You bring that one over there. And you put a pin in there, and you want to sew across here a few times, either hand sewing or machine sewing, doesn't matter much, keep that in check there. And then you go to the other end of the headband and you put your piece of elastic in the middle. Check your head measurements, that's a good idea. Let's get oh, that's fine, that's good enough. Make sure you get the ribbon on the same side, otherwise you'll twist your ribbon. Pin your elastic in the middle, like that. Don't fight the elastic, you'll soon find its way. That one to there. This one to there. Keeps your elastic well covered in to the middle there. Oh dear, poor. Okay, so you've got your elastic in the centre there, and that's your headband, nice and stretchy. And then you want to, I think if you're fussy about placement, get a pin and pin under first, and see, you can put them to either side of your headband. They do say nature works in odd numbers, don't they? I've got 5. You can put them in however you like them. Cluster, we'll have a cluster on one side. Oops. I don't think I was going to do some more. I don't think I will actually. I think I'll just leave it at that. Because if I do one more, I'll have to do 2 more, don't I? If you have to keep it odd numbers. So, there we go. That'll sit at the side like that. Oh, that little bunny's fallen off. Mess about with it as much as you like. You could always add some beads as well. Add some beads around the edge of your flowers and play with it as much as you like to get your flowers how you want them to sit. I would sew them on with embroidery thread. I wouldn't sew them on with the yarn. It'll make it too difficult to get through whatever you've used for your ribbon. You can sew them on too if you've got a hard headband. Just a few loops around the whole hard headband. That would work too. You could just have one. You could do one for these baby headbands where they just have a tiny little headband, don't they? And then they have one on the centre of the baby's head. You could just have that. However you like to mess about with it. So enjoy. touch technique video for this month. If there's anything you don't understand, if something's not clear, please get in touch. I'll do my best. If you've got an idea that you want me to cover, shoot me an email, drop me a comment, something you want me to cover, project, stitch you want me to look at, something you want me to review. We're here to help you, so share some love, let's get some comments, let's get your knitting. It's really good for you, it's great fun.